Welcome to the Ageless Beauty Collective call. Today's presentation, Returning to Radiance, how to reconnect to your path after falling off and stay aligned in a misaligned world. So we all fall off the wagon. We all lose our way. We all, get tempted, and it might not even be diet. It could be with anything in our life, right? Any kind of goals that we have. I just want to remind you that you are not broken. You're human in a world that profits from your disconnection. Every moment is a portal back to your power. This isn't about perfection. It's about remembering who you are. Why we fall off and why it's not a failure. You're not weak. You are surrounded by a system that encourages overstimulation, addiction, and distraction. Biologically, socially, and emotionally, everything is designed to pull you away from your inner knowing. Falling off the path is not the end of the path. It's the initiation back into deeper commitment. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I fall off or something happens, every time I get back up, I'm a little bit stronger than I was the last time. So even though it may feel like a failure, it's really all just leading us back to where we want to go. Every detour reveals where your real devotion lives. I'm sure you guys can all relate to this, right? How to get back into your rhythm without shame. First of all, start with forgiveness, not punishment. Choose one small win for today, not the whole plan. And reconnect to your why, your beauty path, your future self, and your body's truth. This has been really big for me. Connecting to my why, especially how I've been feeling, getting into my 40s and feeling my hormones changing, and it's not as easy for me to keep my body in shape as it was, and remembering why I did this in the first place, 20 years ago or even 15 years ago when I first went raw for the first time. I just didn't want to be another statistic. So I wanted to look and feel my best way beyond in my 60s, 70s, 80s, and even further, right? So anchor back into your ritual over routine. So anchor back into ritual over routine. So there's no pressure, just presence. So as long as you just come back to presence and do what feels right in the moment, and just come back to those ritual moments that you have with yourself, whether it's taking a hot bath or doing your facial exercises or saying affirmations or making a beautiful meal while listening to classical music, whatever makes you feel good, those beautiful rituals that we have for ourselves. So helpful practices. Reset day. Have a reset day. So this is what I always do this. Whenever I fall off, like I go on vacation or whatever it is, I come back, I'm like, okay, the next day it's a reset day. And you could, prepare light meals, get to bed on time or early, do some breath work, whatever it is that you like to do. And create a return to self ritual. Maybe this is you wake up and you have lemon water and you journal and you go for a walk in silence, whatever that looks like for you. Just create a little ritual that you could always return to. You could listen to a replay or even a voice note from your past self or a journal entry that you could read when you were in alignment. How to stay aligned around others and while traveling. I've noticed this when I go see my daughter, I tend to fall off. When I go on vacation, when I tend to go into crowds or I'm around other people, especially if I'm like out in the world around, food or things that are just not in alignment with what I'm doing, but I tend to get tempted and I tend to forget what it is that I'm doing. I forget my goals. I tend to kind of, and follow the crowd when I go out into the world. When I'm here in my apartment or I'm like doing, on my routine, I stay very focused. So when loved ones are not on the path, just remember that you don't need their approval. You need your own commitment. Lead by embodiment or example, not explanation. You don't have to explain anything. Just lead by example. What you're doing is working for you. Set energetic boundaries gently. I'm doing what feels good for my body today. While traveling, Anchor to your non-negotiables. This is going to look different for everyone. It could be, making sure that you stay hydrated, making sure you move your body, sticking to a fasting window, focusing on your breath, or having a deep breathing ritual first thing in the morning when you wake up. Whatever that looks like to you, just know what your non-negotiables are, and pack a little rescue kit if you have to when you travel, even if you're going on a day trip or you're just going out to a party or whatever it is. You could bring teas or elixirs, bring your fresh juices. If you're going on vacation, you can bring supplements or whatever herbs you're taking, superfoods, massage, facial massage oil. Bring your journal if that's something that is very important to you. Personally, I don't go anywhere without AFA. I bring it with me everywhere because if I can't find a meal, I know that I can just put some AFA in water and I'm going to be nourished. Affirmations you can take with you anywhere. So pick a little rescue kit for yourself that you take with you when you go places. Make peace with imperfection. Choose the best available option without guilt. So if you go to a restaurant and they don't have something that's organic, or the salad's not organic, or whatever, if that's the best that you can do, make that choice, but do it without guilt. You're not always going to be able to be perfect when you're out there in the world or you're out there with family, and the choices are limited. And remember that you are the routine. You are the sanctuary. You take your frequency with you wherever you go. Ritual commitment. Your glow is a daily choice. Ask yourself, who am I choosing to become with this next choice? So this is really important because every decision that we make is going to take us to the person that we want to be, to the life that we want to live, or it's going to divert our path, right? So whether you're making a decision about what to eat, or whether to work out or not, or whether to go for a walk or not, just say, who am I choosing to become with this next choice? Because ultimately our choices are going to define the person that we become. And you can create a mantra to use when temptation arises. Here are some examples. You could say, this craving is not bigger than my calling, or the glow I'm building is worth more than the taste, or I return to my path with grace. And just remind yourself, I'm going to leave you with this mantra, I release the story of starting over. I walk the spiral path, each return more powerful than the last. My radiance is not defined by perfection, but by devotion. So release the story that you're starting over. Every time you fail, you're like, I have to start over from day one. This held me back for many, many years. So you're not starting over. It's all part of the journey. Thank you. That was my little presentation for today.